Heath, who's a big loser today?
I'm going to steal one of Dave's and say Ladd McConkey. I'm just ready to admit it, Adam. You are a genius.
No.
You were brilliant with all of your Quentin Johnston acquisitions. I obviously should have accepted Isaiah Likely for Quentin Johnston. I should have accepted CeeDee Lamb for Quentin Johnston. And Ladd McConkey can't catch.
I have no idea why I drafted so much Quentin Johnston. It wasn't something I set out to do. It just, saw him in one of the names in the rankings at the late rounds. That just, whatever.
I remember you talked about it in the preseason. Like Javonte Williams and Quentin Johnston were your early targets, and then you were looking to add Kenneth Gainwell at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds suspect.
Well, would you right now? Who would you take rest of season? Quentin Johnston or Ladd McConkey?
Quentin Johnston.
Yep.
Okay. And this goes beyond week 4 for Ladd McConkey. Heath, you're exactly right. It wasn't a great game for him. He had some drafts. Some were tougher than others, but it's now 4 games. His targets 9, 5, 7, 6. And he and Keenan Allen just continue to share those short area targets. Oronde Gadsden got in for some short area targets last week and just a few this week, only 3 targets for Gadsden. Quentin Johnston, not only is he getting in on some of the short area targets, his route tree is great. He's winning downfield, and he did it again on a touchdown today. The dude's a monster, 36 targets. That leads the Chargers. 337 yards. That leads the Chargers. 4 touchdowns in 4 games. His worst game is 14.9 PPR points. Welcome to must-start status, Quentin Johnston.
Like everything really turned up at him this week. Jackson Dart, Quentin Johnston again. Isaiah Pacheco scored double-digit fantasy points.
Mets missed the playoffs.
The Mets missed the playoffs.
I'm not happy about that.
You're a Yankees fan.
I don't care. I hate the Red Sox.
I don't even care about the Mets. Okay.
Oh, whatever.
No, it's like the Chargers and the Chiefs. Like the Mets don't matter to the Yankees.
They matter to some Yankees fans, not to me. Yankees Red Sox wild card series, though, that's gonna be pretty fun. Okay, all right. So let's go to the other losers: Calvin Ridley and Brock Bowers for Heath. Is Ridley droppable? Is Bowers sittable?
I would say that Ridley feels droppable. Certainly in a 10-team league. In a 12-team league, it probably depends on how deep your bench is. But he's not even the number 1 wide receiver on his own team. And his own team cannot pass the ball. So that's a bad combination. And Bowers, I don't know. I was really hopeful with the full practice on Wednesday, but he's just not Brock Bowers right now. And I still think at some point this season he is. I really do not want to sell low, but he's not the guy you drafted him to be.
Can I give you a little optimistic spin, though?
A little optimistic spin would be that he only completed 2 fewer passes to the opponent than they did to Brock Bowers.
Well, he only threw 21 passes today, Geno Smith, and 6 of them went to Bowers and 7 of them went to Myers.
I'm a little bit concerned that with 2-3 interception games in the first 4 weeks of the season, maybe throwing the ball less is going to seem like a better plan to them.
If they can run the ball. I mean, they just faced a horrible run defense. They get the Colts and the Titans in a couple weeks, a good matchup. Yeah. All right. Look, he's a loser. I'm not disputing it, but
he's finished outside of the top 12 among tight ends in PPR each of the last 3 weeks.
Okay. Dave, your losers are Ladd McConkey, who we talked about, and Keon Coleman. Is Ladd McConkey sittable? Is Keon Coleman droppable?
McConkey is sittable and Keon Coleman is droppable. I'm really disappointed about it. I'm kind of beating myself up over it because I was rooting for this guy, heard a lot about him, really loved all the reports from preseason, and just there aren't targets. It's the Buffalo offense from last year. Maybe I was expecting Josh Allen to throw a little bit more, and maybe he will. But for now, I think I can get away with dropping Coleman, picking up somebody else off the waiver wire. And then if Coleman does well again, I can double back and put him back on my bench. But you can't feel good about starting him, especially when both Shakir and Kincaid have been putting up better numbers over the past few weeks.
But next week's a little interesting with New England. It's going to be a big test for the Patriots, but I feel like they can score, right?
Yeah, the problem. Okay, so if he has a big game next week, it'll be a little surprising because I would imagine that you'll see a lot of Gonzalez on Coleman. The type of receiver that Gonzalez usually lines up against is the outside physical type of receiver.
Yeah.
And then what does it mean? Does it mean that Keon Coleman, you can only start him in games against tough matchups? Like that's back asswards. It just sounds. I just don't think you can have a lot of confidence in Coleman, no matter who he's playing at this point. And so, if you need the bench spot, you can give up Coleman. It's
okay.
A knife in my heart, Adam.
If you guys were going to buy low on, I'm going to give you 3 players, not Keon Coleman. If you were going to buy low on any of these 3 guys, who would it be? Would be Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey, or Brian Thomas Jr.? Who do you think has the best chance to bounce back?
Thomas Jr.
Bowers by a mile.
I'll say Bowers.
Okay. Why Bowers by a mile?
Well, first off, the position that he plays. So if you can get his caliber of production that we were hoping for, that's not the same as finding the other 2 players at their positions.
Look at that. I think that was a Matthew Golden go route for a
Touchdown?
huge gain. No, maybe not a go route, but huge gain. Okay, sorry.
The other part would be is he still working his way back from the injury? And if he gets back to 100% healthy, like that's something that is hopefully fixable. Like McConkey's got so much competition right now, and Thomas just looks lost. So I think Bowers has the easiest path to success at a position that you can't find a lot of guys like him.
I almost feel like you're going to have to give up more for Bowers, though, at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can give up less for BTJ, and he's, aside from the wrist, he's healthier than Brock Bowers. So I think he's he's not turning the corner as fast as I thought he would. And I obviously didn't watch enough of the game today to know just how many misses there were between him and Trevor Lawrence. I don't even know if he had any drops today, but I think he can still.
He had a ball on the sideline that he did a pretty bad job getting that foot down. Like, you got to get that foot down.
Yeah,
sure.
It was. And then there was one where there was looked like it was a back shoulder throw that he just kept going.
Right. I remember seeing that one. So that's another miscommunication, and that sucks, but it's a long season, and I could see him eventually getting on the same page. He's so talented, man, and still so fast.
All right, Jamie, your losers are Jameson Williams and Geno Smith. Jameson Williams with 8 targets, but only 2 catches for 40 yards. And Geno with 13.8 fantasy points with the 3 interceptions.
So Jameson Williams, we're probably going to get some questions about dropping him. I wouldn't do that just yet because the 8 targets were encouraging. So hopefully that there will be some connection coming, and they do get the Bengals. It is on the road, but there is a bounce back spot for him in week 5. So hold through one more week, but we are going to get the is it time to move on from Jameson Williams conversation? Again, the answer for me would be no. Obviously, I got to own Geno Smith. He was the start of the week, and he was not good. 3 interceptions were terrible. 2 of the throws were awful. Like, it was the exact same throw on the exact same route and the exact same interception.
Mm-hmm.
The third one was just a great play by Stevenson. Kudos to him for, jumping in front of Jacoby Myers. It would have been nice if he got the 3rd touchdown to Deontay Thornton. He underthrew him, but could have been an easy touchdown if he leads him. So that would have made things a little bit better for Geno. Obviously, would have been right around 20 fantasy points, but this was not what I was expecting by far. Just taking on the Bears and what the quarterbacks have done against this defense, and he just looked really, really bad. So Genty saved him on a couple of plays. Genty saved the Raiders, kept them in this game. And so I think, and it's funny because I wrote this in Start Sit that the lead into the start of the week was, it would not shock me if this is Ashton Genty's breakout game because of the Bears defense. And I regret putting that out there for the Geno Smith managers because it came to fruition. Obviously great to see Genty do this, but I think just to Heath's point about Bowers, they seem to just get scared of Geno, especially when the run game was going. I mean, they ran for over 280 yards. So it felt as if Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly were like, yeah, this isn't a Geno day. This is a Genty day, and we can run on this team. So let's do it. And then they had to have him throw a little bit at the end. But in any event, Geno is probably done in the conversation for the time being as a starter in a 1-quarterback league.
Yeah, right. You trusted him. Now he's broken our trust. He's not in the circle of trust anymore.